He called on the participants to take the retreat seriously so that they will be prepared for governance and warned that failure by any appointee of government that falter on integrity, honesty, and due process as well as transparency will be dealt with in line with the state laws.
Agricultural processing zones alongside our free trade zone. The target should be the development of value chain of agricultural products to access local international markets. This will energize and engage our women and youth and transform Osun State from its present civil service status.
Earlier in his address, the head of service, Mr. Ayanleye Aina, said the workshop was put together to equip the political appointees with the necessary knowledge that will guide them in their official conduct. The head of service described the civil service as the branch of government that is responsible for the smooth running of government.
We all come from various backgrounds, the SAs, the commissioners, the PS, and so on. This understanding, we must all work together towards achieving common goals. In essence, we need to show leadership with discipline, objectivity, clarity of purpose, integrity, courage, meritocracy, and adhere to external regulations and rules in service.
Speaking with OSBC News, the convener of the onboarding program, Dr. Dare Victor, said the vision is not just to equip the participants with the rhetorics of the technical know-how required of them to govern the state, but also designed to bring them together for a healthy interpersonal relationship that will smoothen the business of governance in Osun State.
It's a forum for an executive governor to share his passion, to share his vision, and to be able to connect to people. Most definitely during the electioneering process, the governor don't get to see even people that are voting for him, and some of these foot soldiers, some of these commissioners, he may not even know them one-on-one. You know, while election is going on, this is a very big state, but this, you can see what has happened today beyond the academia and also all the presentation that's going to happen. The governor is able to bond with his people, bond with the permanent secretary, bond with the executive secretaries, bond with the commissioners, one-on-one bonding. You see what happened on the head table.
The protesters, who are members of the Nigerian Labour Congress, converged on the Bola Ige House of Osun State Secretariat along Gbagban-Ibadan Road, Osogbo, to express their grievances on the inability of the federal government to hearken to the voice of the Labour on the issue of the removal of fuel subsidy. Led by the State Secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Victor Amuson, the Labour marshaled their point and the need to bring succor to an African Nigerian. Comrade Amuson, who noted that Governor Ademola Adeleke's administration had been workers-friendly, however berated the inability of the federal government to consider the plight of the workers before removing the subsidy on fuel. He also called on the state government not to waste time in rolling out palliatives that will cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal on an average worker.
Your Excellency, sir, Osun State workers, they are expecting something. And we stand here today talking, asking, pleading concerning the palliatives that Comrade Deputy Governor, the workers are ready. They want to listen. The packages meant for Osun State workers.
Addressing the protesters, Governor Ademola Adeleke appreciated them for embracing peace in their demands. The governor, who spoke through his deputy, Prince Kola Adewusi, assured that the present administration will not take any action that will be detrimental to the welfare of an average resident of the state. According to him, the government is working assiduously to ensure that the effect of removal of fuel subsidy will soon be cushioned on residents of Osun State.
It is what everybody is feeling, and I pray something positive will happen to change this country for good. I am on the same page, and if I'm saying I'm on the same page, that is, the government is on the same page with everybody, and that is what my principal, His Excellency Senator Ademola Jackson Nudin Adeleke, is working towards. Look, if it is even happening at the federal level, at the state level, what can we do to reduce, because it cannot be totally eliminated, the sufferings of the people of Osun State?
He urged the labor union to remain peaceful in their agitation.
Yes, Governor's Week, that is what we have just brought you on the program Saturday Morning 3. And that takes us to the first guest platform on this program. And our topic of discussion is subsidy protest, federal government, NLC, face-off, and the way forward. The labor unions all over the country, we have the NLC, TUC, and other unions under them, and the civil society organizations all over Nigeria coming together to protest against the subsidy removal, and made a clarion call to the government to roll out palliative to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal, which the government says is still in the pipeline, and workers are waiting, and Nigerians are waiting. We have a guest on the program that will distill and analyze the topic this morning. I am talking about Comrade Tijani Fasasi. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, Nigerians came out, joined the civil society organizations and the NLC to protest the removal of the fuel subsidy recently. There were threats of industrial action, which was later abandoned, but the protest still went on. For how long will Nigerians begin to continue to do this, while the government is dilly-dallying on what to do?
Well, good morning once more, and like I said, I appreciate you for having me here. I can't but appreciate the esteemed viewers at home. First and foremost, does the NLC has the right to protest? The answer is yes. Does the federal government has the right to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians? Positive, affirmative. But may I say that there must be a face. How did NLC miss it altogether?
Okay.
As a human rights activist, you do not, even if you belong to a certain group, you don't go all out to be identified. NLC is seen as a political arm of the Labour Party today. That is why some of us will not even be a part of it. When the Labour Party was to be formed, Adams Oshiomhole was the NLC president. They had a petrol station that is no longer in existence. They bought vehicles for transportation businesses, they could not run it. They had most of these things that today they are no longer in existence. So the NLC that want to blame somebody in federal government must come, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. They have failed. We had 4 major contestants for the presidency of this nation. You identified with one. You were going on stage or campaigns with one. And you have succeeded decimating the very existence or what makes that NLC a thick organization. It ought to be a union devoid of any government interference or political interference. Now, so you have played so much into it, so much so that everybody who contested at that material point in time feels you are already a political party. And so, if you want to, unfortunately, your candidate has not been declared the winner. And you want to protest, which is your right. In the past, the moment NLC, Ayuba Waba never gave it this much. Ayuba Waba, I did not know, but I can remember he went on stage to start campaigning for any presidential candidate. Yeah. And then Labour Party had presidential candidates. He never did that. And so the current NLC chairman or president has done so much harm to that harm that should be protecting the ordinary person on the streets. As soon as I saw a picture where the presidential candidate of the Labour Party and the stalwart wore the same Ankara on the stage, you had already created a kind of vacuum between what you should be doing and what you are doing. If that man had won the election, it would have been very easy for the NLC to continue to thrive. And so they protested. The essence of the protest is positive, but what surrounds the individuals protesting or leading the protest is not positive. Look at yes, you wanted to protest. The FG was smart enough to go to court, and the industrial court made a pronouncement stopping the protest. The man reached jail times, and unfortunately when it happens, nobody will be there with him. You flouted the court order, you went ahead with your demonstrations, eventually you were invited. While you were discussing, for you to know, I said the individual in the position of authority today is a politician, core politician. He's not a politician by accident. He's someone who knows it. While he was discussing with you, the Attorney General, the Permanent Secretary Minister of Justice was in court to file a case of breach of the court rule against you. So I am only taken aback when I saw a video on a TV station yesterday, when our revered uncle Femi Falana was defending that the environment where you feed, you are always talking about the rule of law. Some of us ought to be your followers, but unfortunately you have started deviating. You are a lawyer, I'm not, and you are encouraging Nigerians to go against the rule of law. The only thing we are inviting is anarchy. If tomorrow you try it again and they say, okay, let us use force for forcing for, if that is what you can understand, then the soldiers or the police will be sent out, and we know most times the end result, and the rules of law must be followed. And so the NLC has all done wrongly. The subsidy removal, it was posited by the candidate of the NLC in the person of Chief Peter Obi. It was posited by the candidate of PDP in the person of Chief Atiku Abubakar. It was posited by our brother and friend Comrade Omoyele Sowore. It was also posited by the person in government today.
But they said they would do it differently.
They wouldn't have been able to do anything differently, and even if they had won, I was trying to say that if they had won any of them had won the election, the person leaving office did not prepare for the subsidy. He had already removed it. The only thing Bola Tinubu did was that he had the courage to say that subsidy had gone, but it was not even budgeted for. And so even if he wanted it, maybe they will now sit in the Senate again and a lot of things would take place and it will continue. But Buhari had removed it without making a pronouncement. And subsidy removal, many of our leaders have tried since 1983. Buhari tried it the first time. He could not. He didn't have the capacity. Babangida tried it. Abacha tried it. Abdulsalam Abubakar tried it. Baba Obasanjo was unable. Mucha Yar'Adua was not able to do it. Jonathan tried it. The same people who are out there now, our Oga, Femi Falana, was among the people who went on the streets.
And even the former president.
The former president was there. Current president was also there. That should not be removed. eventually, Buhari removed it. He was unable to. He didn't have the guts to tell Nigerians it has been removed. And somebody came that we must face the reality. Why Nigeria was producing, why Nigeria was that, why we were being touted with the idea of, consuming 13 million barrels per day, 69 million barrels per day, we were actually consuming 13 million barrels. And look at the difference between 13 million and 59 million, 56. And the 56 million were being taken out of this country to be sold in neighboring countries. And so the marketers will come into the country, allow, they will take the consignment here. People will see that they have been taken, and with the co-numbers within them, they will still move this product out of Nigeria, and Nigerian government would have paid for it. And so when they sell them to neighboring countries, they also make extra money apart from the money they have made in the country. And so that is why I said that whosoever that wants to do this must be ready. So I said it on a station that is actually ready to put his life on the line, because the people who have benefited from this will not fold their hands.
So the present president, among others,